Listen, people, we took a W today. We had a winning week, which is crazy. We only took two trades this week. One was a break even. Today was a winner. I want to go over what I did good, what I did bad, because I could have prevented. I could have made a little bit more money. I left a little bit of money on the table. That's again something I got to work on. But we also have to remember I am in drawdown, so I want to go over my mindset with that. But again, it's a little bit later. This trade recap is going to be up a little bit later, but I went to eat with my family, and I promised I'd get this up for the people in the Discord. And yeah, we'll get this trade recap up, and then we'll move on to next week. So let's put my face down here. Let's actually put it up here because we're going to go over ES. All right, so as we can see, I'm still down 10.3K on the month. But again, today we have a 2.71K trade, and we made $135 per account. Not a lot, but based off of the risk on the trade, number one, I think I did well risk to reward wise. But number two, I should have let the trade run longer, and I'll explain that. And number three, we were in an area on NASDAQ where I thought we were going to reverse. That's why I was a little bit nervous with this trade. But I took my profits where I could because, again, that gives me a little bit more drawdown room. Now I have $1,900 of buffer, which is plenty. Again, it's not like my accounts are crazy deep in a hole. We got to remember we have 20 accounts. That's why it looks like a bigger number. But again, the better we do and the closer we get these to the buffer, because my one account or my top four accounts were close to the buffer. Excuse me. But again, we ended up having this losing month. But again, we'll build back up. I trust in my system, and we're going to keep moving forward. So let's go to the trade. I took this trade on ES. So we'll go over on ES. Okay. So a lot of people got stopped out, I feel like, trying to take shorts today. Again, I didn't see any entries to take shorts because I've been very picky with the entries I've been wanting to take. But let's go over the 15-minute time frame first. So coming into market open, we could see that. Oh, actually, let's do this too. We had news. We had news today at 9:45. Okay, we had Flash Services PMI and Flash Manufacturing PMI. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So 15-minute time frame, I was paying attention to. We had these 4-hour / London session lows down here, but we could see that we came down and we ended up sweeping those out on ES first. Correct. A lot of people thought we were going to continue lower off of this area. But again, I wanted to wait for a 5-minute break of structure to the downside because if we could see on market open, we ended up breaking structure to the upside. We came down, we swept out these London session / 4-hour lows. We broke structure on NASDAQ too, but we never broke structure to the downside. I scaled down to the 1 minute multiple times when we were trading into this 15-minute fair value gap, and that's why I want to pay attention to the 15-minute fair value gap here. If I can go back to it. We had a 15-minute bearish fair value gap here, right, on NASDAQ and ES. Go to the 15-minute time frame. We can see we had on ES also, correct? So ES was the one that swept out London session / 4-hour low. And I was like, all right, I'm going to wait for news. We're going to see how news comes out. And waiting for news helped prevent me from taking these shorts because there was multiple opportunities off of inverse fair value gaps. But again, I didn't see anything that I really actually would have taken. Because again, we inverse this bullish fair value gap. I usually don't take a trade until the macro time frame, which is 9:50 anyway, which should be right here. And again, news was at 9:45, so I wanted to wait regardless. But we ended up breaking structure back to the upside in the 1 minute time frame, respecting this fair value gap. And I thought we were going to continue bullish, right? Because again, we were still bullish on the 5-minute time frame. I just wanted to see how we were going to react off this 15-minute fair value gap right here, correct? So we have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, as you can see over here on ES and NASDAQ. So we'll do 15-minute bearish. And then we can mark it out over here on ES if you want, right? We don't need to mark it out, but we could see we inversed it, correct? So when we inverse this 15-minute fair value gap, I decided to change my bias to bullish. And we had these London session draws above. We had all these hourly draws above on NASDAQ over here. And then we also had London session, which was here. And we also had this 4-hour draw, I'm pretty sure, correct? Yeah, we had this 4-hour draw and we had this 4-hour draw. What I wanted to see happen, because again, I wanted to be bullish coming into the day because I actually wanted to be bearish. Excuse me, my bad, because we did break structure to the downside on the 4-hour time frame and the hourly time frame. But as you can see, we ended up coming up inversing that 15-minute. I thought we could just run through this hourly fair value gap because we already basically filled it with this candle to the 50% level. And I was like, all right, I want to see what happens here. So look, we'll go over here. We'll zoom in a little bit more. I couldn't find an entry on NASDAQ. I wanted to take an entry on NASDAQ because we were leading off the SMT that we formed on the 15-minute time frame based off of London session lows and those 4-hour lows, correct? ES took them out, NASDAQ didn't. I wanted to take this trade on NASDAQ and target London session highs. And let's just mark out London session highs just so we can, you guys can understand a little bit here. We had London, yeah, right here, look. We'll mark out London session highs. Right, we had London session highs, and then we had all these 4-hour highs. We had this 4-hour high, this 4-hour high, and this 4-hour high, correct? All these draws above. Okay, we had draws to target above. We could see that we had plenty of draws up here. I wanted to target the trade on NASDAQ. Excuse me. Holy shit. We could see we never got a good enough retrace. Okay, let's go to the 5-minute time frame on ES. Reason why I took this trade on ES, correct? NASDAQ was already too close to these draws and liquidity above. ES had some room to go. I thought ES had a better setup in my opinion because we had this 15-minute fair value gap below on NASDAQ that we still could have filled. We came into this first fair value gap, but you can see over here on ES, we inversed the first this first fair value gap, came into the first presented 5-minute fair value gap. I usually like taking trades off of the first presented fair value gap, correct? So I saw that ES came into the first presented 5-minute fair value gap because originally before we created this 15-minute, you could see we had the 5-minute fair value gap right here and a 5-minute fair value gap right here. ES inversed this one, correct, already. ES came down to this first presented right here, as you guys can see. So I thought that was a better entry because NASDAQ could still have the potential to continue down, correct? But it ended up not continuing down. So I was scaled down to the 1-minute time frame when we were coming into these 5-minute fair value gaps. And you can see the reaction we got off of this 5-minute, correct? We got to break a structure to the upside. We inverse this fair value gap. This risk to reward wouldn't have been worth it, in my opinion. Right? I would want my stop below these lows. My first take profit would be London session, and all these would be my take profits, okay? I wouldn't have targeted this hourly bearish fair value gap. Let's just be honest there. All right? So if we scale down to the 1-minute time frame on ES, right, we could see that we end up, let's X this out. We had this same 1-minute bearish fair value gap over here on ES. So we'll mark it 1-minute bearish fair value gap right here, right? I've been wanting to wait for an inverse fair value gap plus a break of structure to the upside if we're trading out of a bullish fair value gap, bearish, whatever. If we're trading out of a fair value gap, correct? So for me to want to enter this trade, I saw we barely inverse this fair value gap right here. I don't even know if we did. It looks like we didn't. Okay, so we didn't even inverse the fair value gap there, but I wanted to see an inverse fair value gap break of structure. As you can see, this was our break of structure. We ended up inversing this fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap, and we broke structure with this candle right here. That was my entry, correct? I entered in 3 micros off of this trade. I wanted my stop originally below this low. So again, I wanted to risk around $160 per account. But again, I'm going to say my stop loss was right here because we got this good reaction off of it. I wanted to see if we were going to trade into this 1-minute bullish fair value gap right here. And then react into it, come back down, show bullish market structure out of it. And then I would have entered in one more contract, correct? But again, price decided to just continue up. All right. So as we could see, that was my entry right here. My original take profit was London session highs, right? And these 4-hour highs. That was my original take profits. You can go back in the live session and see it. But I was in this trade for like 35, 40 minutes. And I need to really work on letting my trades run. Okay? Price almost comes up. We come up to here. I had my break-even level set up here, so I decided to put my break-even level right here. We almost get stopped out at break-even. We almost get stopped out at break-even again. Price continues up, correct? We inverse this bearish fair value gap. I'm like, sweet, but price ends up coming back down again. We ended up forming triple equal highs. I knew we were going to take those out, so I set one take partial here. I ended up taking another take partial, but that was more a mental take profit, be honest with it. And again, I saw I was up $135 per account. I was like, dude, like just look at NASDAQ, okay? NASDAQ took out London session, 4-hour draw, hourly draw, and we're trading into this hourly bearish fair value gap. So in my mind, I really thought we had the potential to reverse. Like, look at this. We swept out all these draws in liquidity, right? You should be able to see that. We're trading into this hourly fair value gap, and this is all happening while ES hasn't even taken out London session highs yet. So I'm just like, we have the potential to reverse. We formed a 5-minute SMT off of those highs. Again, when NASDAQ took out London session highs, and ES didn't yet, and it was already down here, but I let the trade run. Because again, I was confident in the trade, but again, the way it was just slowly chopping up, it was a slow, grueling trade, and the mental got to me, and I took my final partial right here, which again, if we look at the risk to reward, let's put this back. I ended up risking around 112 per account, so my stop was below this low. First take profit was around a 1 to 1.1. Second take profit was around a 1 to 2.3, and then my third take profit was around a 1 to 1.7. I don't know what that finally equals out to, but again, I originally wanted my first take profit to be London session highs and these 4-hour highs, which perfectly got hit. again, now that we see it. But again, this was my overall trade right here. So overall, I think I could have done a couple things better with holding my trades. I really got to learn how to trust that. But I also think of it as today was a little bit more of a riskier trade. We could see that ES was continuing up, but NASDAQ was coming into an area that we could definitely potentially reverse. We swept out all our high time frame draws and liquidity. We were coming into an hourly bearish fair value gap. I could definitely see price reversing in the opposite direction there, and not coming out and taking out those highs. But again, I held my trade for about 35 to 40 minutes, whatever it was, and it was a long, grueling trade. And I ended up just taking what I had because, again, I'm having one of my worst months right now, $135 per account. I was down $634 per account, whatever the math was. I forget. I think it was $630 or something like that per account. Now we're down like $480 per account, which isn't bad at all. Again, we still have plenty of room on these accounts, and I'm not worried about that. But my main goal is to focus on the slow and consistent growth over time. I'm not rushing these accounts to get a payout. I don't care about a payout. I want to build these accounts and build this buffer so I can keep requesting monthly income out of these and use these as something I can request monthly income out of while building my live account at the same time. And again, that's just my opinion. That's just how I want to trade based off of the experience I've had in the markets, okay? So again, we ended up winning this today. We had a break-even day yesterday. That would have been nice if yesterday's trade did run. Again, it did end up stopping us out, and then it continued in our overall direction, which sucks. But again, we made $135 per account back. We ended the week up in green. We had two losing weeks, and now we had a green week. We only took 2 trades this week. And again, I'm just being picky with my trades right now, being confident. I make sure they're good trades because I am in drawdown and I want to finish the month good. I'm not worried at all. I really think I'm in a good headspace right now. Yes, being on a losing month and having one of my worst months does bring my confidence down a little bit, but that's part of trading. Okay, we're going to lose trades, we're going to lose weeks, we're going to lose months. But again, it's going to show when I build back again, like I did in September, because I trust my system. I trust my risk management. Yes, it takes longer because I'm not risking a shitload of money per account. I'm not in a rush. There is no rush to get somewhere quickly. And I hate when people say that in like the trading community. I'm fine with just slowly, consistently compounding my accounts over time. And we see it in the chart over here, right? We've seen it. It's like I go and draw. I built these accounts. I go and draw down. I built them up. We went and draw down again. We built them up. Went a little bit of drawdown. Built them up a lot. Then we had this losing month. We slowly built back up a little bit. Had another dip. Again, it's in my opinion, this is a healthy growing chart. Again, is it taking longer? Yes, but I have all my accounts. I've had all my 20 accounts, my farthest ones for a couple months now. And again, we built a good amount of money on those accounts by doing what we're doing. And I truly believe we can get these accounts to, I don't even know. I don't even want to set a goal. By the end of the year, I truly believe we can get these accounts to like $60,000 to $70,000. Again, which would be 10 to 20K within a buffer. And then the money's just going to start quickly compounding over time once we get to that point. So again, we're just going to keep slowly doing what we're doing. Trust the process. Again, I'm honest with you guys and girls. This is the trade we ended up taking today. I show my entries and exits and everything like that. I post my live sessions. There's nothing to hide. And I'm going to keep just slowly chipping at my journey. And again, just keep seeing how much better I can get over the next couple years. Who knows how long this is going to take. I'm just focusing on becoming a better trader every day. I don't care about the money right now. You could say that's stupid if you want, but I truly think I'm taking the right approach because I have 6 years of experience in the markets, and I know what doesn't, and I know what does work, and I've seen it now. And the slow and steady, patient route, being disciplined, following your system, sticking to your rules, and slowly letting those accounts compound over time, I truly think that's the correct way to get yourself in the position where you can start just making crazy money in the future because, again, it'll just keep compounding over time. So hopefully you learned something from this trade recap. Like and subscribe on my post, please. Again, I appreciate all the people who support my channel, but I wanted to get this video up for you guys and girls a little bit later. But again, I got to get it up, and then we'll post a little bit more on the... I'm going to try and get 2 videos out this weekend on the Trader's Roadmap for you guys and girls who watch that stuff, and keep posting this content. Sound good? Like and subscribe. Thank you for the people who support. I'm going to stop talking now. I could talk all day with this. You already guys know this if you watch my channel, but I appreciate it. 2,500 subs. 2,500 subs. Peace out. I'm going to shut up now. Goodbye.